Hello and welcome to the video. Today we will talk about the flow state, which is an often spoken about phenomenon. We will discuss how people achieve it and is it possible to train it yourself in order to achieve it as often as possible. Let's begin. So what is a flow state? It is a state that has also been called a state of effortless efforts. It is a state where you seemingly, without trying, continuously make the right decisions and or moves in the heat of the moment. In other words, you're extremely focused. Now, how and why do we enter this state? The factors that usually lead to that state can be the following. Firstly, the increase in dopamine. Whenever we see surfers seemingly without effort ride the waves, it is because they firstly love the activity. The second factor that can also relate to the previous example is the right balance of difficulty. Two simple tasks might not make us as engaged into the activity as those that are harder and require more focus. On the other hand, if the activity is too difficult, then it might be discouraging to some extent. However, the float state isn't always about focusing on one task specifically. In fact, it could also be effortlessly switching between different tasks and executing each one of them with great result. Now, let's move to the question of if it's possible to train it ourselves. Well, the answer might actually surprise you. As stated in the YouTube channel Ryan Doris by Ryan Doris himself, who is an expert in the field, he has stated that we naturally are wired to enter this state. However, the reason why we are unable to activate this state is quite obvious. It is due to the countless distractions that we can easily come across in the 21st century. The way to solve this problem is simply to just remove them. Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, who is considered to be the father of the concept, also identified those triggers. One of them have been mentioned before, that being the right balance of the challenge. The tasks being not too hard but also not too easy as well. Next is the clear goal. In video games, for example, it can be to complete a level and or defeat a boss. Lastly is the immediate feedback. Once you take a risk and or make a move, it will then result in immediate burst of dopamine. Then you will become more engaged into the activity and even more focused. In combat sports, it could be landing a couple of clean hits that will then lead you to finding your rhythm and entering that state. Now, how can we apply this to combat sports and overall training? First, removing all distractions. Secondly, we can, before training, use different methods of visualization and meditation. The studies have shown that visualization does trigger certain emotional responses, depending on what you're visualizing. In our case, we need to find what triggers the dopamine response. You can try imagining landing some clean hits, for example. Finally, once you've done that beforehand and got rid of all distractions, now it's time to empty your mind and focus on the tasks at hand. Just train and keep in mind to keep the difficulty of the session manageable, and most importantly, engaging. If you're not enjoying the task, then the probability of you entering that state is very little, since you will most likely be thinking about how great it will be to get over with this session, instead of focusing with the task at hand and managing your breath as well. I hope this video helps you with your training, and let me know your thoughts and suggestions down in the comments below. I am open to any ideas and discussions. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to share it and leave a like as well. Stay strong.